Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. Let's start with EVE Online as always. I did play EVE Online every single day and I set myself a bit of a new goal. I'm trying to add the industry layer on top of my exploration activities in EVE Online. It's going pretty well. We are starting in the pretty easy to make and very cheap commodities, which is of course the ammunitions, but so far I have found that there is basically enough demand out there to really keep that up and running. So I must say, from my personal experience so far, it is going really well. The next stage is set to be explore for different modules, perhaps some small ships or something like that, to make and see if we can get a market going there. But so far it really does look like with the right munitions type I can get almost a 50% markup for sure on most of them, and sometimes even 100% and more on the ISK that I make from exploration. So the basic idea here is to explore, find nice faction pieces, sell them at the best price possible, get back with minerals, turn those into munitions, and then sell that again on the market. I must also say that most of my transactions do happen in Jita. That is where you find enough demand. The local market, well, they've bought some of my munitions, but it is so slow and so unreliable that in my opinion a trade hub is still the better option, which gives me another possibility, of course, that is the Amar market as well. And basically what I'm bumping into already is that I only have 10 slots to produce munitions with, and so if I want to keep those at a 24-hour pace, well, doing bigger stuff, it needs to be planned out, it needs to be explored a little bit more. But overall, yeah, pretty good first week in EVE Online. I had a lot of fun, I made a lot of ISK, and it feels like this is definitely a fun part to do, something that is decently easy, I think, to include in my regular EVE Online play sessions. So we're gonna keep that up. We're gonna try to improve on that as much as possible, try to find some nice markets to make, and perhaps try to find a long-term goal as well when it comes to industry. For the rest in EVE Online, we are of course eagerly awaiting any news from CCP on their future plans and development for the game, but that was not the week for that, of course, since it's the first week of 2019. Next up, the World of Warcraft. Honestly, not a lot has happened there. I'm still just basically doing the emissaries at this point. I think I did the invasion points as well. That is sometimes pretty nice when it comes to the rewards. At least you have a small chance at an upgrade from those, and it's a little bit different, right? You have a higher chance of meeting enemy players as well, because they tend to have an invasion at the same time, but then doing opposite quests basically. And overall, those things are pretty smooth, don't take a lot of time or too much effort either. And so that is basically what I'm doing at the moment. Just some emissaries and the invasions when I happen to spot them. World boss as well, that is what I try to do. There is always a small chance at an upgraded reward there, especially if another good ring, a good mastery ring would drop. But so far, yeah, none of that. And I'm really basically gonna keep World of Warcraft at like the very minimum of my playtime at the moment, because it doesn't feel rewarding. I feel absolutely no reason to cap out my conquest points, to start doing dungeons or anything like that. I'm just focusing on you know, maintaining a habit of getting into the World of Warcraft, so that when the next patch hits, which is not 8.2, but I mean like when the new raid comes out and there should be a new tier basically of rewards, hopefully in all activities, that's when I'll take another look at World of Warcraft, see if perhaps I want to get back into capping the conquest points, what the reward schemes are there and things like that. But for now, World of Warcraft, I must say, I think if you follow the game in any way, and especially on YouTube, you understand that the vibe is not great. Lots of people are leaving the game, lots of people are disappointing with the patch, and I can't blame them. And I think that the most likely explanation that I've seen so far is indeed that this is a bit of a bait and switch. Put up the patch itself in order to try and draw players back in, and then the actual increased rewards that you'll get for that, put that a bit over a month out, so that they're basically forced to pay for 2 months if they want to enjoy that patch, and if they want to keep an eye on that patch and see what it is for, like for the game. Very scummy tactic in my opinion, just like with the mounts in their store, with that see you later bundle and things like that. I mean, I've been looking at some of those videos, and really there Blizzard is not doing great, and lots of people suspect that it's basically an Activision that is starting to make itself felt in the company there. We'll see how it evolves. I'm all about trying to have fun, so that's what I'm looking for in the World of Warcraft. Let's see if they can make it happen. They do get the 2 months out of me just to keep an eye on what's happening there. And for the final game, it's Path of Exile. I've spent a decent amount of time in Path of Exile. I would say a lot of time in Path of Exile, in fact. And I'm really enjoying this latest league, which has basically given me the tools to, I think, enjoy Path of Exile in the future even more. This time I went with an Arc Totem character. A bit my own design or my own ideas when it comes to the passive skill tree there, but of course super heavily inspired by the previous hero builds that I made. So I feel like I've got a decent mix of defense and offense this time. I got through the 10 acts with him as well. That was, well, decently easy actually. I did overgrind a little bit, so I was always a couple of levels ahead of the content that I was doing there, and of course I got a nice boost with the uniques that I got both from Zyhark and from my previous characters in the league as well. So I could start with fun boots that, for instance, made me immune to being frozen, and also some really nice resistance pieces and things like that, and then a couple of weapons that help with the damage from spell damage and elemental damage. You know, all of that went really well. So I got a nice start with this Arc Totem, and I basically got through these 10 acts feeling like I'm completely in control, feeling like, yep, this character can handle all of that content. Of course, taking the ascendancies has helped a lot as well. I now have completed the 3rd ascendancy as well, giving me 6 points, giving me charges whenever I use and kill with my totems. All of that makes me even more powerful, and overall I really enjoy this character, and I'm starting to do some low tier maps with him. I'm not sure how much more time I want to spend in this league and with this character. I'm definitely not gonna start another one for this league, but overall the experience has been super positive. I've learned a lot of stuff, and I basically feel ready to keep an eye out for the next league and then plan out a starter character, and then perhaps an interesting build to try and to try to push with, because I've learned about the ascendancies. I've learned about trading as well. I did a couple of trades with the Path of Exile website there, which is very interesting. I'm learning about currency. I still need to learn about the receipts that you can get with the vendors and things like that, but overall I feel like I'm much more prepared, much more able to understand what the game is all about and how to create a character that you can actually use for endgame. So super positive week for me in Path of Exile, and I'm actually looking forward to some more, but perhaps in the next league. We'll see how all of that works out. And that was basically my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.